What's good, y'all? It's ElijahBoyy. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite. I will not be reviewing Collision. Why would I? Look, I'm pulling a solo right now. They said we want you to review Collision. Why would I do that? Shoot, you had a better chance of finding a leprechaun before I review Collision. With seriousness. Anyway, we're going to talk about AEW Dynamite from Kansas City. It's time to party. Wait, that's California Love. Anyway, the show starts off with Timeless Tony Storm. Oh, yes, she's a jolly good woman. Oh, yes, she is. Oh, just a starlet. And Chris Statlander with a cinema-like interview with Renee Paquette, who asked him a question. I'm basically hyping up their match at WrestleDream. Don't expect a review of that. I'm not watching it. And I don't want to sit through another 7-hour pay-per-view. They got me jacked up. So 3 hours. Let's get that time back. Then I'll start watching again. 3-hour pay-per-view. That's as long as the pay-per-view should be. I don't care what nobody says. So they talked, I don't know who I am without that title and everything of that nature. We have told a lot of lies, and we at WrestleDream will find the truth. And Chris Statlander said, I am a cosmic being. I am out of this world, and I will prove to the entire world why I am out of this. Whatever I don't know what they were talking about. I ain't gonna hold you. I lost interest very quickly, and I feel bad because I like Timeless Tony Storm, and I don't have an issue with Statlander, but this whole rivalry's been weird. It's been very weird. Little weird. But yes. Chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe. I don't have a shoe to throw right now. All I have is sunglasses, and I ain't throwing them. Heck no. Whatever. She said, and then they got into each other's face, and they asked Renee, is this interview over? And Renee's like, yeah. Meet me in the ring, darling. And she slides out of frame, and Chris comes out, and then we cut to the commentators. Every time I look at Excalibur, I'm like, oh no, I'm not in the mood to talk about him right now. So they come out there and they get into a fist fight. They brawl, and Timeless Tony Storm got the best of Chris today. And there's that. Next, we go backstage. Jungle Boy is cutting a tree. What the heck is he cutting a tree for? A log with a knife. Why is he doing that? In a building. He's not on a farm. Because if he was, Pepperidge Farm would have remembered. He's cutting a tree. Oh my gosh, bro. Basically, he talks about how the Young Bucks, he was grateful for them. But he said, when I needed you the most, you weren't there for me. They were there for you a lot. I don't understand what he was. Whatever. I seem to recall them being together a lot often, so I don't know what he means was they were never. Whatever. Anyway, so then he said, but I found someone who will be there for me. And then Luchasaurus comes out of frame like this. Oh man. And I'm like, what a promo. Best promo of the whole time. Promo of the year. Anyway. So that's literally all he did. Exactly like that. I didn't exaggerate at all. So we got to Bobby Shield of the Hurt Syndicate versus the Gates of Agony, GOA. Standard tag team match. Ricochet got involved, snuck Shelton with a hit. I didn't exactly see what he did. I don't know if he used the scissors or not. Whatever he did, he hit Shelton with something, and it costed them the match. And they said that was the first time the Hurt Syndicate had been pinned. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Then we go to Darby Allin and Jon Moxley's promo at an undisclosed location. It looked like they were at a prison. I don't know what that was. They were in a room. There was like a glass ceiling between the two. Why would they meet up there after? I don't know. If I'm Darby Allin, I wouldn't go somewhere and meet the Death Rider leader there. I would have been somewhere where I could see everything, but whatever. They're face to face, and Moxley, he looks at him through the glass and he goes, "We're at a crossroads. Because when you think about it, Darby, at WrestleDream, I'm out of ideas. I don't know what I'm going to do to you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you think about it, the game is rigged. You know what I mean? You're not going to quit. I'm not going to quit. So I don't understand. What are we going to do to each other? We're killers. We don't have fear. We would die in that ring before we say these words, I quit. I don't know what else to do. Let me ask you this, Darby. What are you prepared to do? Are you willing to watch the whole season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians without wanting to blow your brains out? What are you going to do? Are you willing to go to Starbucks and not know what you want to order until you get to the cashier? Are you willing to go to a grocery store and pull out a coupon book? Darby, are you willing? Are you willing to play a whole video game for 20 hours without even saving once? Are you willing? Are you willing to go to lengths that go beyond your physical limits? He didn't say any of that. But basically he's saying he won't quit. When John said he won't quit, I'm like, bro, didn't you tap out to Hangman like months ago? Like, Pepperidge Farm remembers. Why do I keep saying that? But Darby says out of nowhere, he admits, there isn't a day that I didn't think about joining the Death Riders. What you mean you thought about joining them? Huh? Why would you do that? Anyway, moving on. And he said, well, after what you did to Bryan Danielson, how can I go to war with someone who does that to their own? And Mox was like, we're still talking about Bryan. We're still talking about Bryan. We're still bringing that up. I tried to help him. Like, but suffocating him with a Walmart plastic bag, dude. Anyways, he said he tried to help him with whatever. After some more babble, Pac just showed up out of nowhere and started slamming Darby's head into the wall, to the window, to the wall, to the sweat drop down his balls, that good stuff. Ski. And he attacked Darby and basically left him there bleeding. And I'm like, well, And that was the end of that segment. Next, we have a match, the more Death Rider action. Claudio Castagnoli versus Roderick Strong. Pretty good match. Well, I'm not shocked in the slightest. Claudio and Roderick are amazing in the ring. Claudio wins. No interference from the Death Riders. You know how rare that is. But the show goes from okay to worse. Don Callis had a Diddy party, a birthday party segment. For whatever reason, we have to care. He goes to the party, or his party. Everyone, the whole members of the family are there. So many members of this freaking group. Basically, they were saying happy birthday to him, and he goes, "Oh man, I love taking airtime from everyone else." He didn't say that. He said basically that he'll try to make the family a success and all that garbage. And then Kyle Fletcher was like, "I got a gift for you. Here it is." He yanks down a blanket, and it's a video of Takeshita looking like he just woke up from a nap. And basically says, "I want to thank you, Don. For it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have gotten as far as I did. And now I am happy to bring the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship to the Don Callis family," right? And before he could finish what else he was going to say, Okada turns the TV off, and they was like, "Whoa, what happened?" And he goes, "I pressed the wrong button. I'm so sorry." And I'm like, oh my gosh, he was so cool. Okay, anyway, so whatever. Unfortunately, that was not the last of Don Callis. This man gets so much airtime, bro. Think about all the wrestlers who don't get airtime, and they see people like Tomohiro Ishii and Don Callis and all these other people. Man, I'm not even gonna get into it, bro. So Don Callis does the ring introduction for Mark Davis, who I forgot was here, Josh Alexander, and Hihachi Mishima, and they took on Kenny Omega in the Jurassic Express. It's a trios match, 6-man tag. Nothing really I could say about it. It was the standard AEW 6-man trios match, whatever. Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express pick up the win. The only thing I will note, Kenny did most of the work at first because I guess he still has ill will towards Jack Perry after their history. So the Young Bucks come out, they attack Jurassic Express, and then they get into an argument with Kenny Omega for whatever reason. And then Jurassic Express got the upper hand, and while Kenny watched. So yeah. All right, up next, women's match. Sky Bakery. My man Sky Blue. Jeez, Elijah thirsty much? Versus Jamie Hayter. Pause on that, by the way. I don't like that. Pause like a mug, bro. Yo, that look crazy, bro. Pause on that. So they had their match. Went on a little longer than I thought it would. They went ham on each other. No Peppa Pig. Then Jamie Hayter picks up the win over Sky Blue, much to the chagrin of Sky Blue and dang, I forgot that girl's name. What is that girl? Julia Hart. There we go. Then Tekla interrupts. She cuts a promo, and she was just like, "Hey, Tex, you just because you were there, impress me. Look how far I've come." Bro, even the crickets were quiet. That crowd was dead for that. I'm like, wow, they did not care. Well, anyway, speaking of not caring, Mercedes Moné was next with an interview with all her belts of companies I don't know exist, don't care about. And it seemed like the only person who cares about her belts is her. And literally, she was like, 10 belts, money. And I'm like, oh my freaking gosh. And then it was announced that, in 10 days, she will hold the record for being the longest AEW TBS champion in history, a record held by Jade Cargill. I guess they don't want a WWE girl to hold the record for that, so I'm not shocked. So, yeah, well, whatever. All right. Then we get to our main event for Dynamite portion of the program. The Ops. Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and it's Shibata, right? Shibata versus Los Faccion Morales like what Los Faccion Los Facción Englobenorale. I can't pronounce this. LFI. Englobenorale. Whatever, bro. All right. Anyway, the Ops won. Okay, there we go. That's the show. Oh yeah, Paige was on commentary. So after the Ops defeated LFI, Sammy Guevara, Roosh, and whoever the other guys are, whoever else is in this, they started to attack the Ops, even though their motto is never lacking. Apparently, they was lacking today. And Paige made the save, and they hyped up the World Heavyweight Championship match. And Excalibur closed the show by saying, "Well, folks, we're done with the Dynamite portion of the night, but don't go anywhere. AEW Collision is next." And so I said, no, I'm going somewhere. I'm done. So yeah, that was AEW Dynamite from Kansas City. If I missed anything, my bad. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Please like and subscribe. Become a member of the E Squad today. $1 a month. You get ad-free videos and exclusive videos no one else is going to see. And yeah, I'm going to spoil the future. I will be doing a SmackDown review as well. I hope y'all enjoyed. See y'all soon, man. Have a good night. Stay healthy. And thank you for being a part of this community.